Welcome to this free immigration help channel. In this video I wanted to help you fill out the visa extension form. Not just a visa extension for yourself though, but for yourself and your family, your dependent, whoever it is that you're also extending part of the application. And of course I'm talking about the form I-539A. Now I have done a separate video how to fill out the form I-539 online. So if you are doing it by yourself, if you just need the visa extension for yourself, watch that other video, because online process it is much easier to do. Unfortunately, for whenever it comes to filing I-539 for more than one person in one application, you cannot do it online and you have to do it a paper application. So that's what I am going to be showing you how to do in this video. So as you guys can see, I have USCIS.gov open. I'm gonna put all the links in the description below, so if you're looking for any specific link, you will find it in the description. But this is the official website for US Citizenship and Immigration Services. I'm not an attorney, I'm nothing licensed to give any kind of, this is just me sharing from the experience, let's just say that. So in order to find your form I-539, we're gonna go into forms on the official USCIS.gov website, and then we're gonna click on all forms, and we're gonna scroll down to I-539A, or you can type it here in the search box, but we'll just scroll down through it, and 539, and here it is, 539 application to extend change non-immigrant status. And one thing that I wanted to point out before we get into it, as you can see, there is no I-539A on this list. In order to find I-539A, you actually have to click on I-539, and I've got a few questions about it in the comments, so I wanted to point it out. So the first thing you're going to notice on I-539 page, and again I'll put this link in the description below, you can just click on this and this page will come up. You can fill out the application and file it online with I-539 if you are just filing for yourself, for just one person. If you are just doing it for one person, it is much more convenient to do it online. It's much faster processing. Go ahead and do it online. But for I-539A, if you have somebody, your family members, non-immigrant, visa extension, they need it also. For example, let's say husband and wife. You are the husband and you came here to United States with your wife. That's going to be an example for this video. And you came as a tourist, both of you, with B1, B2 visitor status, and your status is expiring. Your status is expiring, and you want to extend that stay here for another few months. So you're filing that extension of stay I-539, but because you're with your wife, you want to file one application instead of filing two separate applications and paying two separate fees. Doesn't make sense, right? So hopefully now you kind of understand. So as a family member, we're going to find the I-539 forms and documents downloads. If you click on that, you're going to see you have your PDF for I-539 regular form. That is if you want to still file it in paper application. It's fine. It doesn't make sense, but it's fine if you want to do that. You can do it either online or by paper if you're doing it by yourself. Okay, so we're gonna need for this video I-539A, and I'm gonna right click, open in a separate tab, and I will put this PDF link in the description below once again. Okay, so here's how the application looks. Very straightforward. I'm gonna go through briefly just so that you can kind of understand that it's not hard to fill it out, so it doesn't look intimidating. But I highly recommend here you will find instructions for form I-539A. Open that. I'll put a link in the description below. That will be very, very helpful going through your application. So each and every basically part that you're filling out, each section, you can find kind of what needs to be filled out there. And also here it shows obviously who is eligible for non-immigrant status, as V non-immigrant status, and what is the purpose of the form, just in case you have general questions. But let's go back to this, and the name of the I-539A is supplemental information for application to extend change non-immigrant status. So we're gonna go briefly through it, and then we're gonna put everything together so that you have the idea of what the whole application looks like. Okay, so first section, information about the person filing form I-539. All right, now that is the main person who is filing the form I-539. So in our example, it's going to be the husband. Okay, so here is going to be husband's information. Let's just say Doe John. And since we're doing the paper application, we don't want to leave anything blank. If you watched any of my videos, I keep saying it in every single video, don't leave any blank spaces. Very, very important. If you don't have middle name, don't leave the space blank in the paper application. Online application doesn't matter. Paper application, don't leave it blank. Put an A for not applicable. Yeah, and the reason why I'm saying this is because I've seen way too many times USCIS, they send the forms back. The whole application, they send it back just so that you fill out these blank spaces. It wastes a lot of time. Don't let that happen to you. Just from the very beginning, don't leave any blank spaces. Okay, now information about you. Okay, so part one was information about the person filing the form I-539. And then it goes part two, information about you. So that's gonna be the dependent. In our example, it's the wife. And we're gonna do Jane, and she also doesn't have a middle name, so we're gonna put not applicable. Obviously, date of birth, country of birth, all of that, right? And I'm not gonna put any example here, but you understand. Country of citizenship, US Social Security, if any, if none, just put none, which is most likely going to be the case. If you're seeking non-immigrant status, most likely you don't have the Social Security. Most likely you don't have alien registration number because you're not an immigrant status, you're in non-immigrant status, and alien registration number most of the times is only for the immigrant status. Date of arrival, and then the provided information about your most recent entry into the United States. That's going to be from your form I-94 arrival departure record. And if you don't know how to obtain your I-94, I have done a separate video on how to do that. It's done through official government website, where you enter all your arrival information, your passport information, and your travel records. You can pull them up there. Check it out. I've done 2 videos total. Find the most recent one, because one is outdated, one is the newer one. It's updated. I think I've done it this year, 2022. But with that being said, I want you still to pay attention to, you see right here, it says edition form I-539A edition, and you see the date. Okay, so you might have a newer date now that you're opening it up. Maybe you're opening it up 6 months after I've made this video and the form has been updated. So don't be surprised if there is something a little bit different. If you have any questions, just ask them in the comments below, but don't be surprised because these forms are consistently updated by USCIS. Okay, so I-94, your records, you will obtain them online and you can fill them out here. Passport, travel, document expiration, your current non-immigrant status. In our example, it's going to be B1 or B2. So we're going to, this is a scroll, as you can see. And I highly recommend, if you can fill this out like this on the computer, let's do temporary visitor for pleasure. If you can fill it out like this on the computer and then print it out and then sign it and date it, that would be best, because you're going to avoid a lot of mistakes. Why? Because you're typing up. It's not like you're printing out, which you can do. You can print it out blank and then fill it out by hand, but typing up, it will always give you more chance that there won't be any mistakes, further in your application. It's very important. You don't want mistakes, because then you have to deal with fixing them, correcting them. You don't want to deal with it. So your expiration date for the passport, passport number, passport issuance country, expiration date passport. Wait a second, which expiration date? Okay, so this expiration date is for your non-immigrant status. This expiration date is for your passport. USCIS online account number, if any. If you created an online account with USCIS, you might have the number. If you have it, put it in. If none, put none. All right. Moving further, applicant statement, contact information, declaration, certification, and signature. That's it, guys. As you can see, That's pretty much it. So we're gonna just, I can read, understand English, or I cannot read, understand, and somebody interpret it for me. In our case, let's say she can understand. Applicant contact information, applicant declaration of certification. So this is, obviously you can fill this out like this. So you'll have to print it out and then sign it and put the date. You can put the date typed up, but I recommend writing it just in case. And then the interpreter, if there is one. And that's it. That's it. So you see how very simple it is. Now you're probably wondering, like, okay, so this is a supplemental information. So obviously whoever is filing, whoever the main applicant for the extension of stay is, obviously they're going to be filling out the basic I-539, and I have done the separate video on it. Check it out. It's the most updated 2022. Again, I think I've done two. Because there was a little bit of a change in the form, in the application. It's also very simple for the petitioner, for the main person, a little bit more information, their full name, so it's going to be John Doe, right? He's the petitioner. Then the US mailing address, physical address, other information, again, place of birth, passport, all that sort of stuff, information about you, travel information, application type. As you can see, that wasn't in a supplemental form. All right, so application type here is going to be either the reinstatement to the student status if you're F1, but in our case it's going to be the visitor. So let's see, an extension of stay in my current status. Yep, that would be it. And then if you want the new status, but we're not changing status in our example, we are extending it. And then the processing information, I request that my current or requested status be extended until certain amount of time. So if you want for 3 months, you ask 3 months in advance. If you have tickets, let's say in the 4 months going back, put that date over there. Most of the times it doesn't really matter. Most of the times they just give you another 6 months, but be specific anyway. It's much more helpful. But again, I'm not going to go through this form anymore because I've done a separate video on just this form. This video was for I-539A. So once you've done all of that, obviously you're going to have a paper application, I-539. You're going to have a paper application for all the family members, dependents, I-539A. You're going to combine them, and now you're probably wondering, okay, so where do I file it and how much does it cost? Yes, there is a price for it. First of all, where to file, let's look at that. And you can find it here on the same page for I-539, and I'll put the link in the description below. Where to file. So, filing tips for Form I-539 application to extend change non-immigrant status. Obviously, you're going to complete all this sort of stuff, blah, blah, blah. For complete list of mailing addresses, visit direct filing addresses. So we're going to open this in a new page. And again, I'll put this link in the description below. And as you can see, on this page, it's basically by the non-immigrant status. So depending on what kind of status you have, you will find address where to send that form. So in our example, it's husband and wife, and they are B1, B2, visitor, tourists. So for them, let's see, B1, B2. Okay, so we got filing form with principal, that's not us, non-immigrant and their dependents. Aha, that works for us. B, non-immigrants and their dependents. That's it. That's our filing type in our example. And as you can see, for USPS, if you're shipping with USPS, which I highly recommend doing with USPS, for whatever reason, I've seen problems with FedEx, I've seen problems with UPS, but I've never seen anyone having problems sending with USPS. I don't know why. It's kind of weird because this is just a PO box address for USPS, and it works better and faster than a direct address through the couriers. So it's up to you. Just my personal recommendation. Again, it's not a legal advice or anything like that. Just from the experience of things that I've seen, USPS just works better, and they're cheaper most of the times too. Okay, so we figured that out, very straightforward, and I'll also show you the fee. And again, that can be found on the main page for I-539, filing fee. There you go. So it's $370, and you and each co-applicant must also pay an $85 biometric service fee. Okay, so a lot of people are having questions about it. I've seen it in the comments. I see it pretty much every day. I see in the comments. How much should I pay for this? Okay, so for each application, you're paying $370. Not for each applicant, but for each application. So in our example, we have 2 people. They are filing one application package. because there is a main I-539 for the petitioner and there is a secondary I-539A for the dependent, for the wife. So in our example, the couple is going to pay $370, one application fee, because there is one application that they're sending for two people. One $370 fee and two $85 biometrics fee. Now biometrics fee is sometime once you send the application, sometime in the process you will be called to an application center by USCIS to go and do take your picture and take your fingerprint scans. And obviously both of, in our example, husband and wife, they both gonna go and do that. So both of them are paying $85. So for two people, I'm gonna open my calculator because my math is not fantastic. So we're gonna do $370 one-time fee plus $85 for one person plus another $85 for second person, and total is $540. So not cheap, but that's the price we're willing to pay in order to maintain our legal status of B1, B2 visitors in our example of husband and wife. So hopefully this video was helpful. I know it was short, I know it was brief, well, compared to my other videos, because I-539A is really that simple. So if you are applying, again, if you are just doing it for yourself, you don't need to do any of this. You just file online. That's the easiest way, the fastest way to do it. But if you have dependents, if you have other family members that you want to put in one application and not pay obviously $370 plus $85 for each, which wouldn't really make sense because you can do it this way, then this is the way to do it. And obviously you're gonna probably find my video on I-539 useful, so check that out, because there I mentioned on how to fill out the application for one person. So you know that, you know these steps, you should be good. So hopefully you found this video useful. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below, and sometimes, at least I try at least do it once a month at least, going through all the comments and answering the questions in the videos. So you will see on my channel I have Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3 answering your immigration questions, and that's where I answer all of the comments. So put your question in the comment below and I will get to it in one of my videos. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.